If you feel discarded by your ex and at this point you're just wondering, was it all a lie? Like, was any of it even real? Watch this video because I'm going to explain to you what the situation is. Hey, what's up? I'm Coach Benny, and I help people get their exes back. And for 5 years before I did this, I was a dating coach where I had to pay attention to attraction and bring that experience into getting people's exes back at this time. Now, I'm on the phone with people all day, every day, and the way my phone calls goes that people just kind of spew out the details of their situation. It's very much like it's like, you're just like letting it all out, right? So I get to understand exactly what's going on in people's lives. And one of the most common stories that I hear is that people who never fought in the relationship and they thought everything was perfect, somewhere like 6 months in, somewhere around 6 months in, one ex comes, the ex comes to the other and says basically, hey, I'm not happy. I need to focus on myself. I can't give you what you need. You deserve better. I need to go work on my mental health, etc. And if you ask them for reasons why they're breaking up, they'll just tell you little things that they never ever told you before. They never give you a chance to work on anything. But they're dead serious about this breakup, and you can't change their mind for anything. And now all of a sudden they're cold and they're distant. So in a case like this, you're going to feel discarded. You're going to be wondering, like, what the hell just happened? I thought everything was perfect. And now all of a sudden I'm like literally second guessing everything. And around this time, people start to think back to the beginning of the relationship. And most oftentimes the people that do this were chasing them harder than they were chasing the ex that broke up with them. And that's when people start to get confused and start to say, oh, you know what? This sounds like narcissism because narcissists love bomb you and my ex chased me in the beginning. And this is a total misunderstanding. What's actually happened is that your ex was emotionally neglected in childhood. And they don't have communication skills. They don't have any expectation that conflict resolution is a thing because they've never experienced that in their family. In their most formative years, they're socially underdeveloped because they weren't getting enough attention from their parents. And so they formed more as an island. They're more independent. These kind of people like their time and space, etc. And so if they can't expect that they can come to you with their problems, they're not going to communicate with you, and then all the problems are going to build up, and then they're going to break up with you. The reason why they get cold and distant is, again, because they don't expect that, you can, cooperate in an interdependent way and solve the problems. So the only way that they can free up the bandwidth that they need to, because they stress themselves out and they usually people please and overextend themselves and do all this kind of stuff, is to break up with you. And the only way they can do that, if you're asking for a second chance, is if they're cold and distant. They have to reinforce the decision in some kind of way. Now, these types of exes are called dismissive avoidance. And dismissive avoidance it's an attachment style. Dismissive avoidance, they have a core wound of feeling broken inside. Okay, this is why they tell you they can't give you what you need. And this is also why they chase really hard in the beginning of the relationship, because they feel broken. They get validation by your acceptance of them. And, 4 to 6 months in, what happens is the body stops producing serotonin and dopamine. And now all their subconscious fears about not being, good enough come up after that amount of time. And because of all the unresolved problems up to that point and their lack of communication skills and their fears, etc., they end up breaking up with you. But make no mistake, this is not narcissism. And the reason why this whole thing wasn't a lie is that, number one, the dismissive avoidant is an attachment style. That is, they do attach to you. Okay, they just have a little bit of impediment there due to what's happened to them in their youth. And the other thing is, you wouldn't have watched this video all the way through this far if you didn't have something real, and then having that taken away didn't jolt you so much that you're searching for answers. I talk to 8 different people a day, and they pay me a good amount of money to do so. And, when people are wanting to know, was it even real? I tell them, you wouldn't be here. You're not that much of a fool to be here spending money to talk about this situation if you didn't have something real to begin with. Now, it can be a little bit tricky reattracting a dismissive avoidant, but if you want my help, click into my profile and then click this link right here, set up a call with me and tell me your story, and I'll give you a step-by-step game plan to get your ex back.